Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Linda Blue, and I am a local real estate agent here in Houston, Texas. And today I wanted to do two things. Number one, thank you to all of those who subscribe to me to help me hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. And two, I wanted to also come to you today to give you the most 10 asked questions for new buyers in today's market. So stick around and ask any questions that you might have in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. All right, so hello. So the first question that most buyers do ask is they ask, how much home can I afford? Now, that really depends on the market that you are in and also your budget. And I always ask my buyers because normally they say, we're looking for a home that might be in the $300,000 range or $400,000 range. But my question is always, well, what do you feel comfortable with paying every single month? Are you comfortable with paying $2,800 a month? $1,500 a month. So that makes a big difference. So it's really not the amount of house that you can afford, but you want to look at your personal budget and what you think you are comfortable with paying every month. So the first step you need to do is just go and create a budget. If you don't have one, I always tell people that's the first step. Create a budget and see exactly how much money is going out of your household every month and how much is coming in. And that way it gives you a better idea of what you were willing to pay every month. Now, the second question is down payment. How much do I need for a down payment? Or I've heard about plenty of down payment programs. So, yes, there are plenty of down payment programs. The thing is, we would have to find which down payment program that you qualify for. Each down payment program has its own requirements. So it could be income based, it could be based off the members in the household, it could be based off of what county the home is located in. We have several that's in Houston that you can buy a home, but it has to have taxes that are being paid in Harris County. So it really depends on the down payment program, and that is something that you will work with me as your real estate agent and also with your lender, because you want to make sure that your lender knows and also is aware of different down payment programs, because sometimes lenders are not familiar with them. All right, the third question that is normally asked the most for buyers is, what does my credit score have to be? Now, my rule of thumb is the higher your credit score is, the better loans that you can qualify for. Now, most loans want you to at least have a 620 credit score. Now, you can get certain loans at a 580, but the better your credit score, the more options you will have and the more buying power that you will have also, because it depends on that loan. Now, when it comes to loans, most buyers, and this is number three, most buyers are not aware of the different types of loans. So the first loan people apply for it and can get is called a conventional loan. Now, this conventional loan, you have to have around a 620 credit score for this loan. The next loan is going to be a FHA. People qualify for FHAs if their credit score is a little bit low, around the 580 mark. Now, the difference between those two is about the PMI. That's going to be your mortgage insurance. So, if you can qualify for a conventional loan, you can go ahead and avoid that insurance amount. Now, the other one is going to be the USDA loan, which is going to be for rural communities, and that's below a certain amount in the poverty line. Now, I know in Houston for a fact, even though that sounds like rural, I don't want to be out within the country with cows and all that stuff. No, rural for us is about 10 to 15 minutes from the other communities. It just happens to be further out. Houston is expanding and they're building further and further south and north, east, and west. So the further they build, they're going into more rural communities. But those rural communities, they just look like regular neighborhoods. They just haven't been established as long as other communities. Now, if you are a vet, you might want to look into the FHA loan. Now, with the FHA loan, It is a zero down payment, and that is why a lot of former or current military members are using that loan because it's the best loan for them. Now, the next thing, number 5, is taxes. Now, this goes back to how much can I afford? A lot of new buyers do not realize that your taxes are going to be escrow into your mortgage payment. And what that means is if your home taxes for the year is $4,000, they're going to add that and divide that over a 12-month period. And so when you make your monthly mortgage payment, your taxes are going to be included, which is a good thing for you because you don't have to worry about coming up with the funds at the end of the year. So each town in each county has different tax rates. So you want to know exactly what the tax rate is going to be because that's going to affect your monthly payment. So if you're in a certain community or county that has a higher tax rate, the home that you might purchase might not be as big as a home that might be further out in another community. So you always want to know what the tax rate is in that community. And the key thing about that also that I stress, I'd like to deal with a lot of new construction. So if it is a new construction, the taxes might be extremely low for the first year. And the reason is because the taxes were done based off of raw land. So when you bought the house, it was raw land and the taxes might have been $1,000. But once that community starts building up, the taxes are going to change. So you might pay 1,000 one year, and then when the community is starting to become established, then the taxes might go up to $3,000 or $4,000. So you want to make sure you pay attention to if it's a new community, if the tax rate is low because it's on raw land, or if it's already an established community. So number 6, what are my closing costs? Now the closing costs are different from your down payment. Your closing costs typically goes for home inspection, which I always recommend my clients get, whether it's a new construction or a resale. With new constructions, even though you're saying, well, it's brand new, it should be perfect, it should be up to standards. That is true. But sometimes, unfortunately, the builders can miss things. It's so many people going in and out the house building it, things can get overlooked. So I always tell my clients, spend the extra $300 or $400 now because it's going to be very costly if you skip that process and down the road you have to go back and get it fixed. All right. And also for closing costs, you have to do your title insurance, which is for the title company to do research on the property to make sure that there's no liens or anything against the property that you as the new buyer need to know. Number 7, do I have to start looking? Do I start looking before I get approved? No. Rule of thumb, you always want to get pre-approved. Why? Because if you do not get a pre-approved to know exactly what your buying power is, you might start looking at homes that are $600,000 and $700,000, and you will fall in love with those homes. I promise you will. But then when it's time to go and say, oh, let me go ahead and get everything together and get a pre-approved with a lender, they might come back and say, okay, well, you only qualify maybe for 500,000 or 400,000. So now what are you going to do? Like we all do, we're going to keep on thinking about what we saw that we can't get because we didn't get qualified first. So we want you to get pre-qualified with the lender so the lender can tell you what is the best price range that you and your family can afford and be comfortable in. The next one, number 8, what are the advantages of new construction versus resale? That is a good question, and this is the answer coming from me. Resale is an established home already that someone has already previously lived in. Resale homes can be in more established neighborhoods, older neighborhoods, or in newer communities, but they've been lived in for over a year. Someone has already moved into it. Now, with resale homes, you really don't know what you're getting, especially if the home was built back in the 60s or 70s or the 80s. You have to realize that the codes and the enforcements back then are different from what they are currently. So you will definitely want to get an inspection, and you also want to ask for a home warranty when you put in a contract for that home. Why? Because the major things that can go wrong with the home, you want to have it covered. And the major things that normally go wrong with homes are foundation, the HVAC system, which is the AC and the heating, the electrical, and the plumbing. So you want to make sure if it's an older home that you get those things checked. Now, with a newer home, it's going to come with warranties. It's going to come with a foundation warranty, a roofing warranty, plumbing, electrical for a certain amount of time. And you know that those new construction homes are currently up to code. So it gives you a better peace of mind. All right. Somebody asked, let me see, what about custom built homes? Now, the difference between a custom built home and a new construction, now they're both new. The custom built home is going to be more to your taste. So if you want a custom built home, they might allow you to come in with them to work with their architect to do a design and help you build that custom home. Now, custom homes are more expensive than regular new constructions. And the reason why is because if you've ever been to a new construction model home, they'll tell you, hey, we have 11 different models to choose from. They're new, but they already have everything picked out and the floor plans are already done. Now you can go and change maybe the cabinets, the flooring, the countertops, the carpet, things like that. But the structure of the house, you cannot change, but you might be able to add an extra patio or extend your patio. Now, a custom home, you could basically do whatever you want. So it's a bigger price point, and normally new custom homes normally in the Houston area range for over the $700,000 mark because it is a custom home, and you're gonna be able to, you know, build it and design it the way you wanted to design it with the builder directly. And which one do I think is better? It really depends on your budget. It really does. It really depends on your budget. You can feel find builders that might be able to build on your own lot for a less amount than the $700,000. But normally, custom builders, they are the over the 700,000. They normally go to the luxury type of individuals who do have those funds. So let's go back and let's see number 9. Now, what are the hidden costs with home ownership? A lot of times people get into home ownership and they think, oh, well, I'm in the home, I'm done. You have to make sure that you have those extra funds. Just in case funds are the emergency funds. Now, the emergency funds could be your AC goes out. Can it happen? Yes. If you have a resale house, you could be in your home for 6, 7 months. The inspector has inspected it and said, there's nothing wrong with your AC, it's fine. But Houston heat, the AC might go out. And if the AC goes out and you happen to have a home warranty, which is a good thing to have, you could give them a call and they might make you pay a deposit or the fee for them to come out, a service fee for them to come out. Now, if you do not have a home warranty and something comes up like roof leaking, water heater goes out because the water heater goes out and you have no idea, you always want to have those extra funds to be able to replace things. So you always want to reserve. So there's always those fees. Also, the HOA. Most communities are in an HOA. And if you don't know the difference between a homeowners association versus a non-HOA, the HOA basically gives their rules for that community, whether it's how what your house could look like, the colors that you could paint the house, what you can have outside the house, what kind of fence you could have, what you could put in your backyard. It varies based on the community. Now, a non-HOA community is just you could do whatever you want basically. Some people want to do a non-HOA. Me personally, I'll always tell my clients you want to be in an HOA because if you ever want to sell your house in the future, you want to make sure that your neighbor does not have a boat or anything parked across the grass or unruly grass grown up because it's going to affect your value. So you want to make sure that if you are going to be somewhere and you're thinking about reselling the home, you might want to consider a community because most communities here do have HOAs. But that goes back to the point, that is one of the hidden costs of owning a home. You have to pay your HOA fees. You want to make sure that you have money for upkeep. Once you move into your house, you are now the owner. There's no landlord to call to fix things if something breaks. That is your responsibility. So you have to remember, you have to maintain the grass, you have to maintain the roof, the AC unit, the water heater. There's things that you have to do now as a homeowner. Number 10. A lot of people want to know, is the process of home ownership difficult? And the answer is no. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to speak to a realtor and say, hey, I wanted to start buying a house. What do I want to do, or what do I need to do? And we're going to tell you, the first thing we need to do is make sure that your credit is okay. We want to make sure that you have everything you need, from your employer to your taxes. And we're going to say, look, this is some lenders. You can reach out to them and they're going to pre-qualify you. Once they pre-qualify you to tell you how much you are going to buy, or you can afford to buy, or how much you feel comfortable with, that is the beginning. Once you get your pre-approval, it moves pretty fast. If you get pre-approval, we get you in house within 30 to 45 days. That is a resale home. If it's a new construction home, then it can be a little bit longer, depends on the building phase. Now, if you are looking to buy a home and you are currently in a lease, you could time it where you could buy a new home, a new construction home, and when your leases are almost up, you can be moving into that new home. Now, after we find a home, because you get pre-approved first, you reach back out to your real estate and you say, hey, here's my pre-approval. What do I do next? We start home shopping for you. We find that dream home. We get you a contract on that home. Once we get you that contract on that home, we make sure that you get that home inspected within 7 to 10 days to make sure that home is where it needs to be for resale homes. After we do that, we tell the lender, yes, let's keep on going. The lender sends an appraiser out, and the appraiser is going to say, you know what, if you're going to pay $310,000 for this home, based off all the homes that sold so far, that is a good price. So I'm going to appraise this house at 310, 320, whatever he finds that is comfortable for that area. Once that appraisal is done, then the lender is going to send everything back to their underwriter, which is the person who does all the snooping and verifying everything, because that's what they do. They have to verify everything. Once they verify everything and say, you know what, we're clear to close. That's it. We could get you into a house in 30 to 45 days. New construction, it could be a little bit longer if they have to build the home. Now, since I'm done with my 10 things, I want to go ahead and expand. Since I do a lot of new construction homes, I want to talk about the benefits of new construction homes. Now, when you get approved, you're going to get approved from an outside lender. And when you go to that new construction, the new construction company is going to say, hey, we have a lender as well. Now, if you use our lender, we might give you $10,000 to go towards your closing costs. You have to get approved through their lender too if you want to take advantage of that. Can you get approved by multiple lenders? Yes. Should you shop around for lenders? Yes, because like I said at the beginning, every lender is different. Every lender does not do the same thing. You could have one lender that is very familiar with 10 down payment programs, or you can have one lender that is very familiar with how to do VA loans or how to do USDA loans. All lenders are not equal, so it's always best to shop around for your lenders. I think that is about all I could think of right now to help you guys get into your first home. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the chat so I can make sure I answer those questions for you. Based off of who's here, is anyone thinking about moving within the next 12 months, or has anyone started looking at houses, or did you have any questions? Well, no questions. So let me tell you about some new communities that's in the area. Now, there's a community by the Tihana Company. I think it's the Tihana Company. It's called Marvita. Now, if you're not in Houston, you're watching. Texas is hot. Houston is extremely hot. This community is called Marvita. Now, Marvita is going to have a lagoon in their community as an amenity, a lazy river as well. So we have these new construction communities are really going out of their way to entice people to come and buy in their communities. Meridiana, which is in South Houston, they're going to get, I believe it's a lazy river or something similar to that. And they already have a cafe inside their community. They already have a gym inside of their community. They already have swimming pools inside their community. So if you are trying to debate if you want to do a resale home, which is a home that's already been lived in, or if you're interested in doing a new construction home, let me know what you're looking for, because there's things for everyone. Sienna, which is a master plan community in Missouri City, that is a community within a community. When I say community within a community, Sienna has 3 schools inside of their community. Yes, 3 schools are in that community. That's how big their community is. It takes about 15 minutes just to get to the middle of Sienna. There is coffee shops inside of the community. There are daycares. There are gyms. There are supermarkets. Um, kids some kids academies in there. So anything you could think of, they're in it. So if you're looking for a big community, which are normally master plan communities, or if you're looking for a smaller community, definitely let me know. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please, if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And I'm trying to think of anything else. But like I said, getting to home ownership is not hard to do if you have the right guidance. And sometimes it takes you a while to get there because it might be your income. But we have down payment programs. We have programs like NACA. We have programs like the Community Land Trust that help individuals that are not at the income level they want to be to get a house. But we have programs and grants here that will allow you to get there. There's one grant that I'm working with a client now. They're going to get up to $150,000 grant towards their purchase of their home. You don't have to pay that back. Now, all they have to do is qualify for a minimum loan of $70,000. Now, the more they qualify for is going to be added with that $150,000. So we are right now targeting a new construction home that falls within that budget. Now, are there requirements? It has to be in a certain part of town. No, not really. It just has to be zoned to Harris County taxes. And that's it. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I am Linda Blue. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And remember, if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I do weekly videos of new construction homes in our wonderful cities and communities around Houston. Okay. Thank you guys so much. You all have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, Ryan. Well, that's okay. What do you have a question, Mr. Ryan? Because I think I remember responding to you actually about Houston. But I was just going over the top 10 questions that buyers have when moving. Things that they should ask, things that they might not know to ask. And I could just run over the 10 with you. So if you have a question regarding the 10, just let me know. Number one, most people want to know how much can they afford. And I always say, look at your monthly budget. Number two, They want to know about the down payment. Down payment is between 0 and 20%. And it really depends what kind of loan that you get. And there's also options for down payment assistance. It depends on the program and their requirements. Number three, what does my credit score need to be? Now, your credit score needs to be between 580 and 620. The higher your score is, the better it is because you have more options. Now, what type of loan products are there? There's a FHA type of product, there's conventional, VA, and then the USDA type of loan product that buyers can choose from if they qualify. The next one is taxes. I always tell my clients, oh, okay. Well, I'm already to number five. So taxes, I just tell my clients, make sure they know what the tax rate is for their home. And if it's a new construction home, make sure that that taxes that you're looking at is not based off of land, raw land, because if it is, you're going to be extremely shocked the following year when the community is built up and your taxes from raw land go from $500, example, to $3,500. That's a big difference. What are closing costs? I discussed what closing costs are. And do I start looking before I get a approval? No, you always get an approval from your lender first. And let me see, what is the advantage of new construction versus resale? I prefer new construction because it's new construction. It's more up to date with the city codes and regulations. What are the hidden fees for associated with home ownership? Of course, the HOA repairs and upkeep of the home. And then the final one is the process of home ownership complicated? And it's not. It's not. We can get you into a home 45 days if everything is in order. If it's a new construction, it might be just based off of when it is built. And that was it, Ryan. But thank you so much for joining, and I appreciate everyone else for joining. And if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe, like, and the bell. And make sure if you have any additional questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. You all take it easy and have a wonderful day.